corpse.
All crewmates.
Yeah.
It's a bug.
Are you imposter?
Yeah.
What
Oh,
the?
no.
Hello everyone, Skippy here, and welcome to One Piece episode 1025, directed by Katsumi Tokoro and supervised by Shigefumi Shingaki. While Tokoro is a bit of a gamble usually, there's something about this episode overall that looks quite good, with specific colors being used to heighten the mood of certain scenes seemingly, as well as what looks like animation for both Naoto Shishida and surprisingly Akihiro Ota so soon after his last appearance. That all in all surely already helps raise my expectations for Tokoro's efforts here. So really we'll just have to dig right into it all to see what it ends up becoming in the end. So will episode 1025 be as good as its promising preview and more? Let's duck and cover and find out. This episode covers the remainder of chapter 1008 and pages 5 through 10 of chapter 1009. And while I'm very happy that there was a general aura of sadness, shock, and anger around Ashura's death, that wasn't quite there in the manga despite how hard Oda did try, and that in general there's a lot more time for some things to just breathe, I feel like Tokoro kinda struggles to make it all feel action-packed and dire, even when the script rearranges some content and adds in some Chopper Queen and Marco filler. With some music choices feeling weirdly inappropriate for some moments, and a few too many reaction shots and repeat shots that not even the manga had, that make it feel like the time that's allotted to them could have instead gone to heightening other content even more so, and maybe just pacing things out a bit more normally. Which definitely is a storyboard issue more than anything else, but it feels more apt to mention it here considering how it is relative to the script, because it's not like it absolutely kills the episode because a lot of the key moments are still done mostly right, but there's a general uneven feel to the adaptation here that makes it feel not as rock solid as I would expect it to be, due to some bizarre choices on that front and the OST front, and as a result, it's missing some energy. Now, while I do take issue with the board's problems I mentioned earlier, I do think that Tokoro's board is actually fairly solid all in all otherwise. Never really feeling too flat or too boring or too big and bombastic, but it's got some neat angles that cell scale fairly well for him, and it's all in all a serviceable one when it comes to just the general look of the episode. However, Tokoro is certainly not as much of a visual director as some other on the staff tend to be, and I do have to say that while I do respect the various color choices and general idea for trying to add a vibrant punch, I feel like he may have went a bit too far in some places with the overall composite and effects, and as a result it can look a bit too gaudy for even my tastes, and slightly dampens Chu Young-so's fantastic FX work for the combo attack between Kaido and Big Mom that still manages to be as strong and snappy as it can be, but feels a bit much visually as a result of that. I again really do admire the idea of what he tried to pull off here and all, and I'd rather he try and fail rather than just making it look bland entirely, but I just don't generally think that it looked as good as it could have. While Chu's contribution to the episode is definitely great as always, despite being on the smaller side and its compositing pitfalls, he's not the only animation highlight here, as the absolute surprise from 1019 known as Akihiro Ota is back once again doing what he does best and then some. Packing a decently lengthy altercation between Queen and Chopper with as much loose line work and smears as it can handle, all the while giving Marco one of his sickest pieces of animation thus far by bringing all that flavor to the action side of things to provide something so visceral and loose that it really adds to what could have been an extremely alright filler scene all in all. Firmly standing as the animation highlight of the episode, being both loose and detailed at the same time, even when Naoto Shishida himself makes another appearance to wrap the episode up with this short yet random burst of action from Luffy, that if anything feels at home with his style due to Luffy's nature as a fighter and the fake out that he tricks Kaido with, that I'm not complaining. Combine that with Shingaki's corrections being being decent enough for what it's worth, even if he generally doesn't come out as much as I thought he would. And 1025 is a decent episode that's potential was limited by its director. Like I said, I really do like that Tokoro was at the very least trying to butter stuff up, but that combined with the weird execution of some parts of the episode really brought a bit of an unbalanced feeling to an episode that I didn't have strong feelings against at all to begin with. But we should just save our energy for next week's episode 1026 because it sounds like a crazy good time on paper and then some. Ryota Nakamura being fully on the One Piece train is a surprise in of itself and one that I'm really grateful for. So I'm very much so interested in how his action-specific direction will particularly handle some of the rooftop fights, given that the preview is a bit sparse with what it decides to show, which doesn't really worry me because I know that he and the staff under him will truly create something great, and we've only seen the beginning. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. I'm Skippy, and God, I fucking love Ota.